you hate the thought of working past 55 or 60? Do you hate not being able to live the life you deserve today? Do you hate not knowing what your financial future looks like? It's time to stop doing what you hate. Here's your host, Mr. Harold Green.
Hello, everybody. This is Harold Green of Braintree Financial Group, and it is time to stop doing what you hate. I hope you're having a fantastic day today. Hopefully everything is going great for you in your life, and looking forward to hearing about it, as I'm looking forward to sharing with you folks the things that go on with me in my life from time to time, my successes, my wins. Sometimes I share with you folks my failures and some of the dumb things I do. But I want to talk to you folks about something that's extremely important, as always. And we're celebrating our independence. That's 4th of July. There's a lot going on with that. Some bad, but I'd say mostly good. It just kind of depends on what you focus on. But I want to talk to you folks about your independence and how important that is, and what it's going to mean to you and your future, and just some really important things. But just to share with you folks what's going on with me today. It's a Sunday for me. I normally don't record on Sundays, but for some reason today I was up super early, and sometimes most Sunday mornings I get up early and I take a drive just to kind of start the week off. I think the week starts on Sunday and not on Monday, but I just get up on Sundays, and sometimes it's early, sometimes it's about maybe 5:30, 6. But I like to just kind of start my day off with some prayer, some reading, and a nice cup of coffee. And then I just get in the car and I drive a little bit and drive around the island, go to different spots, and look at all the nice, beautiful things that we have here. But I want to talk to you folks about your independence. And the title of today's show is going to be When the Winning Begins, Some Relationships Must End. And I've been thinking about this, and it's a little bit of a somber topic for me, because my success has not been cheap. All the success I've had in my life, in every single area, my success has been costly. I mean, sometimes it's been monetary. Sometimes it's been because of some mistakes I made that I've had to learn from. We call that paying tuition. But I'm going to tell you, the biggest cost was the relationships that I've had to let go of. And I want to talk to you folks about that. Why, when you start to become successful, sometimes you just can't hang on to every single relationship that you've ever built, because sometimes those relationships are not going to serve you well. And as I'm talking to you folks today and doing this show, I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. And I wasn't even sure I was going to share this, but I just wanted to put this out there. But if it comes out sounding kind of crazy, it's because I just really don't feel good. I feel a little bit sick to my stomach because of how I'm feeling today, and I'm not feeling that great. But also I started to feel worse when I thought about the things that I wanted to share with you folks. And it's important. And so I just want you to tune in and listen to me carefully, and sit down in a place where it's quiet, where you can kind of think about what I'm saying to you. So are you ready to get it? 1, 2, 3, let's get it. All right, your independence. Why is that so important? What does it mean, being independent? A lot of people think being independent, meaning I can do what I want, go where I want, be who I want, things like that. Although I think that's important, but your independence, it's a lot more than that. Your independence, or you becoming free, it's about the contributions that you're going to be able to one day make to society. But where does it all start? The first place it's going to start in your mind. And I was thinking about this morning, and I came across a friend that a guy I've known for almost 20 years, and we run into each other all the time, and we've had some great times, we've had some horrible times, and although he's a very good person, genuine person, hardworking person, we've literally, kind of have gone our separate ways, and have gone on and built different companies and built different things, and, done different things in our community. We've just kind of gone our separate ways. And one of the things I sat down and I thought about this morning is, again, where does it start? It starts in your mind. And what do I mean by that? The first thing I thought about was the, organizations that I'm a part of. how I think as a person, like what has formed my thought process. And to be honest with you folks, a lot of times it's been my faith in the Lord, the reading of the Bible, but at sometimes it has not been that. At sometimes it has been how I think politically, how I think culturally, how I think, about my finances, how I think about, some of the relationships I have and how those things have shaped my life. And those people, the things that they've said to me, the things that they've spoken into my life, the things that they believe. And a lot of this, when you hear this stuff, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, sometimes it's, people keep these things going in their life just for the sake of they go along to get along, right? You probably heard that saying, you go along to get along. But one of my favorite mentors, and I've met him probably on a number of different occasions, and I've said to him, I said, I understand you're getting older, and I said, you need to have people rise up and carry the mantle of positive public speaking and positive affirmations, just kind of sharing into people's lives and helping them get to a spot that they need to get to. And I said, I want to be that, like, I want to be that next generation of people, that do that in life. Honestly, I was so hyped up at the time because I got a chance to meet him. I was like all starstruck and all this kind of crazy stuff. And I honestly didn't even realize what I was saying. And that's when I was kind of like, I think I was like 25 years old, 25 or 30 or something stupid like that. And that's been like almost 25 years ago. And the man's name was Bob Harrison. And Bob Harrison, he's a great public speaker, a great encourager. And he was talking about how friends are like buttons on an elevator. Some of them will take you to the top, but yet some of them will get you down in the basement. And and I always thought about that. Every time I enter into relationships, where are these people taking me to? Like, how do they think? What do they believe? And what are they saying to me? And is it taking me to the top, or is it like taking me down to the basement? Like, after I spend time with them, how do I feel? Do I feel like I've been enlightened, or do I feel like I just got, like, I don't know, hit by a sledgehammer full of just like, I don't know, just yuck. So I really began to think about that in my own life and all the relationships that I've had and the ones that I have now. And so I do a lot of retrospect and a lot of thinking about these things. And right now there's probably only about a handful of people that are in my life that I call friends, only like a handful of people. And we all don't think alike. We all don't have the same political ideologies. We all don't like believe the same way. But the truth is we have more in common than not. And what I love about these people is I love their genuineness. I love their authenticity. Like, I love their realness. And sometimes when we don't agree on things, that's okay, but they're real about it. They don't go along with me and then turn around and like talk smack to their wives about me. They don't do that. Whatever they got to say, they say it to me to my face. And sometimes it's a little painful. Sometimes I don't agree with it, but it's real. And that's the most important thing about having people in your life and having things in your life. They need to be real. Because if you don't, first of all, learn how to become independent in your thought, and people are controlling what you say and what you do, guess what's going to happen? It's going to leak over into your finances, and it's going to cause you some real problems. There's a scripture in Proverbs that says, forsake the foolish and live, right? Forsake the foolish and live. I want you to look that up. Forsake the foolish and live. And sometimes, when I'm talking to people and they share things with me, and a lot of the things they're dealing with it's just pure foolish. I mean, there's no reason for them to have that kind of stuff in their life, but they allow it to happen, and they're not really living. And I share this with my family all the time. Sometimes you just have to and there's another scripture that says, leave off the simple and stupid and live. I mean, it's in a couple of different places in Proverbs, but it's like, forsake the foolish and live, leave off simple and stupid ones and live. I'm going to be honest with you, there's a lot of simple-minded people in the world today. They cannot see the whole picture. They cannot look past where they are right now to where they're going. They're just so simple-minded. They're being, they eat a lot of garbage in terms of their mental capacity. Like, what are you feeding your mind? I talked to you guys about a show titled, I can't remember the name of it, but it went along those lines. Like, what are you feeding your mind? What are you feeding yourself, right? What are you putting in there? Because what you put in there is going to come out. And so I talked to family about that. And one of the biggest things that come up to me is this. What if, like, it's a family member that you have to part ways with? What if it's a family member that's causing you all these problems? How do you deal with the guilt that's associated with that? And I'm going to tell you folks, it's painful. And I'll share a personal story with you folks about a family member that I love I love them dearly. And we had a conversation, and it was about drug use and stuff like that. And, and I said, I'm really praying for you, and I'm really pulling for you to overcome this. And they said to me, I'm okay. I'm good. I'm good. Everything is fine with me. I don't need that. You can keep your prayer or whatever. Like, I'm good. And so I just got some bad news about them yesterday. And one of the things I shared with them a while back was, I said, I love you, and every time I come home, I want to see you. I said, but if you ever end up in a situation where you're in jail or you're locked up, I said, that's where we have to part ways. I said, because when you do stuff like that, you limit my ability and access to you in your life to have a relationship with you. I'm not going to be trying to call to jail to figure out when I can come see you. That's going to be on you. That's not on me, that's on you. And a lot of times when people make decisions, even if they're family, you can't take responsibility for that. Some people tell me, Harold, I just can't, I can't forsake my family. I can't just give up on my family. I'm going to tell you folks something. It's not you giving up on your family. Sometimes your family will give up on themselves. And honestly, you cannot help people that have given up on themselves. Why is this so important? When the winning begins, some relationships must end. And I'm going to venture to say, even before you start winning, some of your relationships, you're going to have to part ways with some of these people. Because the very reason why you're struggling is because of these relationships in the first place. And all you have to do is look at history, look at successful people, look at some of these star basketball players, football players, baseball players. Why did they end up in some of the situations they ended up in? Because of family. I can't forget where I came from. I can't forget all the people that supported me. I can't forget this and I can't forget that. And it's like, yeah, I understand all that. But at the same time, now you're at a different level. And guess what? They're not at that level. I'm not saying just tell everybody just to go to hell and you ain't ever going to talk to them again because they ain't as successful as you. That's not what I'm saying. I believe you can still have relationships with some people, but sometimes they just can't go where you go all the time, right? And that's why some of these people get in trouble. That's why they still are doing drugs. Some of them still, sell dope. Some of them still go out there and carry guns and do all this stupid stuff. And they just don't realize that they're on a whole different level. They have not understood the reason why they need to be independent. So sometimes, even if it's family, you're going to have to say your goodbyes and move on and pray for them. Eventually things may turn around for them, but guess what? If they've given up on themselves, there is nothing you can do. You can't play God. And it's important to understand that because you're not only on this level, there's probably higher levels that you're trying to get to. And the higher you go, the more independence is going to require. The more being alone is going to require. Why am I saying this stuff? Because I think some people hate being alone. They have a desire to be loved, and that's just human nature. But I'm going to tell you, success is costly, and sometimes it's going to cost you relationships, and sometimes you're going to have to be alone. And I'll share this with you folks about myself. I'm with people a lot. I'm with people a lot. I see clients a lot. I talk to clients a lot. I'm on the phone with people a lot. I'm with people a lot. And guess what? In order for me not to go crazy, guess what I got to do? I got to be alone a lot. And why do I have a deep desire to be alone a lot? Because I feel like that's where God talks to me. That's where God meets me at when I'm alone, when I'm by myself, ain't got 1,000 people trying to tell me what they want or what they need and what I need to do, where I need to be. I'm alone. So I can hear the Lord talk to me. So I can hear him speak to me. So I can hear him correct me and say, hey, yo, don't drive fast today. Or, hey, yo, call up so-and-so. They haven't heard from you in a while. And I'm taking my instructions because in Proverbs, it does say that he will direct you and make your path straight. Like he'll show you where you're supposed to go and what you're supposed to do. And a lot of times it ain't with other people. Sometimes it is and sometimes it ain't. I'll just be honest with you. Being independent, don't be afraid of being alone. To be successful, don't be afraid to be alone. Because in that alone time and that quiet time, you're going to get ideas, you're going to get concepts, you're going to get insights. And if you're always around with people and you're always dealing with relationships, sometimes you got to get alone. And I know you guys know this, but I'm telling you, the higher you go, the more important it is. I hear some people, they go to retreats by themselves. They don't take their wives. They just go hide somewhere just so they can be alone. And I think that's very important. But just remember this, the more successful you want to become, the more independence that you're going to need. And I just wanted to drop this show on you folks today. I just wanted to share this with you from the bottom of my heart. Hopefully you enjoyed my last show. Work to play, not to live. And eventually I'm going to drop the show titled Mind Problems or Money Problems. And I think that's very important. So until next time, everybody, 1, 2, 3, let's get it.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.